I've been vegetarian 6 years before I went vegan, and it was basically ethical reasons. The thing is, I've always been quite compassionate with animals. So when I would like find birds with a broken leg or anything, I would nurture them and try to help them and then release them again and everything. And one day I just realized that it doesn't make a lot of sense to put time and energy into trying to help a bird and at the same time going to a restaurant and eat a chicken. So I thought, why am I in one case eating an animal and in the other case I want to help the animal? So I thought it doesn't make any sense. So the next question for me was, would I be able to kill the animal myself? So I thought, okay, when I had to kill the chicken myself, would I do it? And I thought, okay, I don't think I would do it. So it's dishonest to still buy it when I wouldn't kill it myself. So I stopped eating meat. That was that part. And then 6 years later, I came to a point where I just realized that if you want to eliminate animal suffering, it's just not enough to not eat meat. But there's such a lot of suffering in the dairy industry and in producing eggs that you really have to boycott the whole animal industry. And that was in 2011 when I also, a few months before that, I won the title of Germany's Strongest Man as a vegetarian. So I had a lot of media coverage in Germany. It was huge. I was always on big media, and as the vegetarian who was the strongest guy in the country. And I had a lot of impact on young people. And at that point I thought, okay, I know it in myself that it's not enough what I do. And now that I have this huge impact on other people, I really should go for the real thing. And that was the main motivation where I said, okay, I'm now doing this last step and going completely vegan. Although I was a little bit afraid because there was no one before me vegan and on that level that I compete. Like I'm on international level, I compete at world championships. I have world records in strength sports, and there was no one doing that before myself on a vegan diet. So I thought, is it going to work? And the problem was I was always also afraid that if it wouldn't work, and I was on media and everyone would see that it doesn't work, I would actually do the opposite of what I wanted to do. I wanted to show that the veganism works for everyone, and then I would show that it doesn't work. So I really was very concerned to do it the right way, so it works for sports. But then the big surprise was that it worked perfectly. My health got better, my recovery got better, my digestion and everything got better. And if you take a look at my size and my numbers when I went vegan, I was 115 kilos, and now I'm 135 kilos, so I'm even 20 kilos heavier than I was at that point, so it works perfect.
So, about what you said now, how do you cope with prejudice about people say, that people like you eat many eggs a day, a lot of meat. How do you?
Yeah, the good thing is I don't have to cope with that. Because if someone says you need to do that, I say no, you don't need to, because I'm not doing it for 4 years now. I'm stronger than ever. I'm bigger than ever. So I'm actually the answer to all prejudice there are. So for me personally, it is absolutely no problem. But I realize that it is a huge problem for a lot of young men, because when they consider going vegan and they tell that to their peers, they might get all these negative feedback. So that's actually one of the main purposes of my work, to make it easier for young men to do the decision and not to have this fear of losing strength or losing their muscles or losing their manliness or anything. So that's also a reason that I continue doing what I do. Actually, in 2011, when I won the title and everything, as an athlete, I was at a point where I thought, okay, I might want to retire next year. But then realizing that I could have such a great impact in just doing what I do and doing it the vegan way, and as the only one who does it on that level, I thought, no, it's no way that I can retire now. So that is going to make me
so
go
it just gives
on.
you more motivation?
Yeah, absolutely. It gives you motivation in a completely different way, because you know you can really change the world by what you do. And that's a huge thing.
How do you see the future of veganism, future of veganism? How do you see it?
I don't think that in the movement itself there's going to be drastic change or anything. What I think is that society is going to get more and more open. I see that in the country I live in. I live in Germany, and when I take a look at the time when I got vegan, I was doing a lot of media interviews, and I always had to explain what veganism is. That's 4 years ago. And now when I do interviews, everyone knows what veganism is. So a lot happened in the meantime. I think the amount of vegans that we have has maybe tenfolded since those 4 years. So what really changes is that society gets used to the idea that you can't live on a completely plant-based diet without having any problems. And that's the one thing. And another thing is a lot of big industry is going to produce vegan products for the mass market. And that's going to make vegan options available for everyone. And once those two things happen, it means people don't have to fear going vegan, and people don't have to fear that it's hard to go vegan. And once that happens, it's going to get really, really big, because actually there are so many advantages that the only thing that holds most people back is just that they think, okay, it sounds really great, it sounds healthy, it sounds great for the environment, but it's going to be hard, and I'm lazy, so I don't want to do it. But once it becomes easy, and that's what is happening now, a lot of people will do it. So.
Okay, Sophia, what do you think about Israel?
Oh, it's great. I just came yesterday in the evening, so it's now my first 24 hours, and I've been a lot of the time I've been in the hotel because I had some work still to do on the internet. Yeah, it's a beautiful place here.
Did you have any expectations about?
Actually not. It's my first time here, so I was expecting. I just did some research, and I was expecting a great place to be in the summer, and that's what I found. The only thing that went a little bit southwards was when I arrived. I needed like 2 hours or so to get through the control process and everything, because it might be the beard, I don't know.
About that, was there a problem? You weren't born in Germany, right?
No, I'm born in Iran. So yeah.
So was that a problem?
I think that was probably one of the problems. But the thing is, I left Iran when I was 7 years old. That's 30 years ago. So I have no connections whatsoever. And I think they just wanted to see if I have any connections that might be harmful or anything. But I don't think so. I'm just probably harmful for some of the animal industry companies because I'm carrying another message. But that's it.
Okay, what advice can you give us?
As activists.
As activists, as a vegan, as a sports person?
The thing is, I'm always restraining myself from giving advice, just because I think there are many ways to do it the right way, because we are all different, and society also has a lot of different people, so there are different ways to get through to different people. So I think one really big mistake some people do in the community is that they believe in this thing called there is only one way to do the right thing. That's not the case. There are always different ways to do the right thing because people are different. So that's one thing. And then that's actually not an advice, but it's just the way I do it. I just try to do as positive as I can. Try to be as positive as I can, and that has a lot to do with the tools that I use to do activism. So for me, my main tool to do activism is big media, because I'm like in media outlets that get through to a lot of non-vegans, and through that I have a lot of audiences who are not familiar with the idea of veganism. So when you then use negative feedback and negative way of communication, you are going to shock people, and probably, and the problem is if they are sitting in front of a TV set and you say something that's causing them discomfort, they will just switch to the next channel and that's it. So you have to, so for me the way is to try to do it as positively as I can, and I have this feeling that it works in all areas. So that's, for instance, just to give an example, when I went vegan my wife thought that I'm crazy. So I didn't try to convince her. I just told her, okay, just be relaxed, just be fine, and don't worry. I'm not going to. So one of the things that she said was, "Are you going to probably blow up some butchers places? Or are you going to go totally crazy?" Because it sounded so extreme to her to go completely vegan. And I said, no, that's not going to happen. I'm going to stay the same, and that's it. I didn't try to convince her at all. Half a year later, she was vegan. So I think one of the best things you can do is give people information when they want to have information. When they don't want to listen, just let them go. Because when they don't want to listen, they won't listen. You can talk as much as you want, and don't try to punish them. People don't react well to punishment. So yeah, I just try to inspire, and it seems to work in most areas.
Okay, that's my question. Is there anything else you would like to say to us?
I think I'm empty for now.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.